You good? What do you need? Yeah. Oh, but you got to log in, man. Hey, everybody. Good morning. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Huh? I think we're live. I think we are live. There's so many. I need a. Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. I have to Good morning. Good morning. You guys want to say anything? Just unmute sure.
Hey, good morning. How are you, Ty?
Hey. All right. So we're going to get started. We got like 3 minutes. I'm just trying to get everything set up. But I only can have 10 panelists on the screen, so I'm going to drop all of you guys outside of the panelists. What's going on, Derry? My buddy. All right, I'm gonna move you guys down to the floor. Right. And you can hear me well, Bill?
Yes, I can. Crystal clear.
Awesome, awesome. All right, just making sure we're live on. All right. All right, so we have a couple more minutes. I'm gonna remove myself. I think we're good. All right, I'll be back. And just want to get the room started real quick. I'll be right back. All right, good morning. As people join, I'm gonna give people a couple more minutes. We're still waiting on Sue Hope and we're still waiting on Sueheily. If you guys want to introduce yourselves in the comments, please do so everybody can know where you're from. And then we will rock out here shortly. So thank you guys. All right, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining. Bill Soroka, what's going on, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, thank you. All right, so we're still waiting on Sue Hope, Sueheily.
She says they're here.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring them in. There's Sueheily. There's Sue Hope. Yes.
I'm like,
Hey, Sueheily. Hey, Sue.
good morning. Good morning.
Morning. I know there's people on my YouTube page. I know I don't have much on my YouTube page. But yeah, no doubt. Thank you. All right, so we're still waiting on Sueheily.
She says they're here.
We're here.
Okay.
Somebody's listening, I think. Somebody has another window open.
Yeah, they do. Hang on a second. I think it's me. All right, cool. All right, let's get started. So we have a lot of people in the room. I'm going to set you guys on the foundation and the, I guess, parking lot rules. I have sent out the latest and greatest invite for this meeting. So if you guys have people that want to get on the call, just forward the link to them or forward the email to them, and then we can rock out. My YouTube is also open as well, so you're more than welcome to watch it on there. So let's just rock. So I see a lot of people in the room: Arizona, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Michigan, Deanne, Sharice, Derry, my web developer, by the way. What's up, Derry? Amanda, St. John's, Florida, Sue Hope, yes, Heidi Champlain. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining. I am so elated to be here with this amazing panel. This has been something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So with that, hopefully you have your mimosas, your wine, your coffee, your cheese, your grapes on deck. And yes. All right, so let's rock out. So let me just tell you guys a little bit about me. I am called the Abnormal Notary. I'm on Instagram as the Abnormal Notary. I have been a loan signing agent since August of last year. Got commissioned in New Jersey in May of 2020. I've had over 500 plus signings. I have a general notary business, fingerprinting business, mystery shop, the list goes on, right? But my goal in this whole thing is really just to give back to everybody, be a servant, and provide as much information for free as possible. At the same time, hopefully we all can network and share information, because I believe sharing is caring. So with that being said, thank you. So we're gonna start with you. I'm gonna put you on the front street, Sueheily. I'm gonna start with you. Then we're gonna go to Sue Hope, and then we're gonna end it with the GOAT, with Bill Soroka. Does that sound good?
Lord. Right in center. Hello, everyone.
Yes. Rock out. Let's go.
Well, my name is Sueheily Figueroa. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, wow, me. So I've been a notary for 5 years, right? This is my 5th year, and I've been a loan signing agent for 3, but I've actually been full-time, I want to say about a year now. So since COVID, since COVID made me full-time. But we're here to talk about taxes, and I've been doing taxes since I was 18 when I got my first job at Victoria's Secret. Back then, that was very exciting. And actually, when I went with my dad, I knew how that whole, Social Security and Medicare, all that stuff worked. But apparently I thought I was grown because I was 18 and I wanted to claim myself, and my dad was like, no. And so I started getting into that, just kind of understanding what, W-2s, W-9, things like that. And it just started to progress once I became an LLC, a legal entity, as a notary and money management and other stuff like that. And once I started to really look into it, then I started to share that information with other people, because I was a realtor assistant also at the time. And just, it was one of those things where you're in conversation and you're like, yeah, well, I didn't know this and I didn't know that. And I just started getting connected with CPAs and realtors and IRS lawyers, just to kind of, ask questions and just be knowledgeable. And so now I volunteer for the VITA program, which they should be, I think it's all over the United States, but here specifically in San Antonio, we're tax preparers, and we just do if you meet the qualifications, we do taxes for free. So that's a thing. So that's me.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. All right, Sue, hope you're next, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty.
Oh, yay. Drum roll. Okay. So I'm Sue Hope, and I'm in California. I'm in Southern California. halfway between LA and San Diego, been here almost 20 years, and I have been a notary for that 20 years that I've been out here. I started out just as my employer asked me to get my notary license, and I did a whole bunch of in-office notarizations. And then I left that job. I don't know, became a mom, one of those things. And I let my commission just kind of sit there. I didn't really do anything until I refinanced my house. And the sweet lady who came and notarized our documents, I told her, oh yeah, I'm a notary too. And here's all my driver's license. I had everything ready for her. And she's like, well, how long have you been a notary? I go, a long time. And at that point, I'd probably been a notary 5 years. She goes, well, I need help. I need a lot of help. And I go, okay. So she actually took me under her wing and mentored me. I was her assistant. So she had too much business. She was having to turn it down. Excuse me. So she mentored me. Her name was Virginia. I love her. And I just partnered with her. And that's how I got to be a loan signing agent. There wasn't a course at the time. I mean, the NNA didn't have a course. We didn't have a certification. We were just notaries doing specialized notarizations. And because of my background in real estate, I'm also a realtor. I'm also, I worked for a property manager. That's how I got my license. So I had been in the real estate marketplace. I decided, okay, this is what I'm going to get to do. And I was able to work it around my kids. And it was very flexible. It was an incredible revenue stream for me. And I fell in love with it. So that's how I got started. And then about 4 years of doing that and being underneath mountains of paperwork and not having a platform to enter anything in, my husband, who's a software designer, architect, engineer, he looked at what I was doing and he's like, there has to be a better way. You're sitting here on the floor with mountains of paperwork. I'm like, there's nothing. I don't know what to do. And so he actually looked at everything, and the alpha version of NotaryAssist was born. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I'm clicking around. I'm doing my little thing. And it was only me. It was just my own little world. I was happy. But then I realized that there's a lot of us out there and there's nothing. And so I told him we had to share this. So long story short, my husband is not the person who wants to be in front of a camera at all, ever, not his jam. And so I called up the National Notary Association, who happened to be having a conference in 2007 in LA. And I'm like, I want a booth. I want to be at your convention, and I want to sell my product. And my husband looked at me and he goes, what? I just made this for you. I didn't make it for production. I'm like, so I kind of thrust him. I was like, you got this, babe. I'm so proud of you. Go, go, go. And so we did it. We sold our first copy at the National Notary Association. And from then, since 2007, we have been assisting thousands of notaries across the United States organize their notary business, keeping track of their mileage, expenses, customers, their calendar, you name it, other notarial acts. We keep track of all of that in one place, easy to use, easy to find, so the notaries can stay out on the road doing what they want to do and doing what they love. So that's how I came to be. Ta-da!
Awesome.
Amazing. I love that you did too, Sue.
Oh, well, it's a little scary. I mean, it's always scary to just do something outside your comfort zone, but I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
True. It is. So I appreciate that, Sue. All right, Bill, your turn, and then we're going to rock out and do the whole forum.
Awesome. Well, number one, guys, my name is Bill Soroka. I'm the founder of NotaryCoach.com and author of the Amazon bestselling book, Sign and Thrive, How to Make Six Figures as a Mobile Notary and Loan Signing Agent. First thing I want to say is I am just completely honored to be on the panel with the likes of you three. The theme that runs through each and every one of you, then you introduced yourself and talked about why you're here. It's to help other people. So I feel like I'm in really good company. So thank you for being of service to our community. I think that's huge, and one of my main points that we'll talk about later. The other thing I think that you are all a beautiful demonstration of is how this industry is ripe for innovation and people who take initiative to find opportunity in their everyday life and business. This business is full of that. And Sue, you evolved, you became who you needed to become to fill a need. Sueheily, you do the same thing. I love having you in the Sign and Thrive group. You just constantly give information and share lots of information. And Ty, I love what you're doing here. I love that you are sharing a message with our community and really trying to help people remember the foundation stuff and go deeper into what this business can actually do. So thank you for that. As far as I go, guys, I'm a serial entrepreneur, a failed serial entrepreneur. I had over 26 businesses that completely flopped because I did not have good discipline, good habits. I only worked on the fun stuff. You know, I designed 3,000 logos for 26 companies because I thought that was what made money. And it wasn't until I figured that out, that it's actually the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that really drives a business forward, that I was able to turn this mobile notary and loan signing business into a life-changing business, not only for me, but for thousands of other notaries, plus the relationships that I've had with people I've met at the table, because I learned how to show up as myself, has absolutely changed my life. So now I have the online course, the books, and so many other big plans for this, because this business, as a mobile notary and loan signing agent, I call it the notary umbrella. You can do so much under this notary umbrella. Your business is your masterpiece if you treat it that way. All right, Ty, that's
that's it.
that.
All right, cool. So this is what I want to tell you guys. So it looks like the room for the StreamYard is full. I'm getting emails saying that people can't get in. I did send out multiple emails to everybody so they can log in. My YouTube page is up. So I've posted the link to my YouTube page. So if you guys want to go over there and give it to people that you know that can't get in, please send them that link so they can go to the YouTube page and watch, please.
Awesome.
All right.
Great problem to have.
What'd you say?
That's a great problem to have. Jeez.
Exactly. All right, cool. So today we're going to be really talking about taxes, right? Because tax season is coming up. Sueheily, who has been instrumental in her community, helping people volunteering with their tax preparations. I will tell you guys right now, straight up, Sueheily is not, correct me if I'm wrong, Sueheily, you're not doing any type of tax preparation. You're just here just to provide information. Yeah,
we're not doing all of our taxes right now.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
So yeah, that's been a thing. So like for VITA, we get IRS certified annually. And I'll talk about the differences a little bit later. But in my case, so I'm a tax preparer, but right now I'm still pending what we call my e-fin. Like I can't e-file, which is a little, don't nobody want to send paper files. So that's what I'm waiting for, because something like that, you got to do fingerprints and send it out. And I unfortunately was a little bit late and because of COVID, everything is just pushed back. So I may, even if I get, the acceptance letter, I may not get it in time. So for this year, but that doesn't mean that I cannot help you. Can I tell you, kind of guide, not tell you because not a CPA, but I can guide you in the right place where you need to be depending on your goal set. So at least I can give you that.
All right, cool. So let's get into it right now. So let's get into the taxes. I know that you provided me, Sueheily, an amazing checklist that basically tells you what you need to do to prepare for your taxes. I will be popping that in the in my bio and Instagram as a Linktree link, so you guys can go in there and download it and utilize it. Okay. So Sueheily, let's go ahead and just talk about taxes and what does that mean as a loan signing agent? What does that mean as a notary public? Myself, I'm not good with taxes. I don't know what I can expense. I'm not sure what a tax exemption is. So just run it from the beginning as if we're just newbies just coming into the game.
Okay, so we got a couple things. So especially if you went in any business type of situation, you want to, what we call no commingling. And that's the biggest legal implication. I'm actually pull up my notes here, make sure that I give you all the information that you guys need. Let's see here. Okay, so commingling is one of the biggest things that the IRS really looks into. And what commingling is, it means that you're piercing the corporate veil. So basically, you're mingling your business with personal. So if you end up having just one bank, if you choose to do your notarial services creating it as a business, first of all, know that the IRS, you don't have to be a legal entity or anything like that. If you treat it separate, you are automatically a sole proprietor, plain and simple. You don't have to have a business bank account. You don't have to have a business name, a logo. You don't even have to have a DBA, nothing like that. If you treat it as such, you're considered a sole proprietor. With that is what I normally recommend is having a separate bank account. Do not put a check from a client into your, for a business client into your personal account. Don't pay a business bill with your personal account and vice versa. The reason being for that is because of what we do, we deal with a lot of legal paperwork, and not that I'm trying to whatever on anybody, but every time we stamp, we run that risk of something happening legal wise. So God forbid, I'm thinking worst case scenario here. If you get sued, you got to go through the process. If the court finds that you commingled, now your personal stuff is liable for any of the damages that may you have done. And that does happen, when we're talking about like, real estate, it's a big thing. So to protect yourself, keep it separate. And I've heard a lot of people, well, I need to have a business account. And in order to have a business account, you need to have an EIN number. First of all, no, you don't. You don't have to specifically have a business account, just a separate bank account. Separate bank account where all the business income and expenses are funneling through that. Second, it's very easy for you to get an EIN number. It's free and it's with the IRS. I recommend if you do that process, print out the sheet because it's very hard to ask them what the number was if you forget. It's a process. And it's actually a safety thing because when you sign up especially as a newbie, when you sign up with all these signing companies, you have to fill out a W-9 form and you have to put your social in there. You can replace your social with the EIN number. That way, that's the number that you have and that's the number you use. We still use that in your taxes. We would use both. So that to me, I tell people that is the biggest thing. Do not commingle. Keep business with business and then keep personal with personal. The second one I would probably talk about would be your filing status. So knowing where you sit would be great. And normally you could do that with your previous taxes. If you're single, if you are single and you are a dependent or you have a dependent that you provide more than half, that's considered head of household. And those different statuses, they're different deductions that they have. If you're legally married, you can only file jointly or file separately. A tidbit on that I recently learned is if you're in a state like here in Texas, we're common law. So if you are living with someone and you're not legally married, but you claim married filing jointly, just because it's a benefit, understand that the moment you send that in, you are legally married. So
ooh, that's good information. Nice.
yes. So, if Ben is living with Sarah and they file jointly and then they break up and then Ben, is living with Sally and you cannot file jointly, the IRS is going to look at you and be like, no, you would literally have to go to court and file for a divorce. So that's not every state. That's just states that recognize common law. So you might want to be careful if you choose to kind of like get that extra benefit, like understand you're legally married if you do that. So you might want to check on that. One thing that's big, well, it's not big, but it's new this year is, so previously when we worked as an independent contractor, we would get the 1099 miscellaneous. That is no more. We now get the 1099 NEC, which stands for the non-employee compensation. So
Hope y'all taking down notes, taking down a pen and a notepad. Just saying.
I got my phone. Review it later. We'll review it. But yeah, that's actually a new form this year. So if you hired anyone as an independent contractor, or you have been hired as an independent contractor, understand that you have to use the 1099 NEC. They will not take miscellaneous for non-compensation. So if you happen to receive that, what we're being told is to just go ahead and talk to the HR, let them know that, hey, this was filled out under miscellaneous and that you need the NEC form. I believe I want to say that they changed it just to be more specific, because you can the 1099 miscellaneous, it's still being used. It's just that for us as independent contractors, we're not using that. We're using the NAC this year, and probably moving forward. They just want to be real specific. They're trying to be more specific with things. So be mindful.
It's NEC, right? NEC?
NEC, yes, non-employee compensation. N is in Nancy.
I got you.
So that's a new form that we're going to be dealing with this year. And again, it's not because it's new, and I don't know how employees, like I said, we're being told, hey, if you get the form, go to your HR or the head of person and say, hey, this was filled out on a miscellaneous. We need the NEC form. If they're just being really, difficult with it, you can still provide it to us, but at least we want to make sure that you took the necessary steps, because sometimes employees just don't, not employees, employer may not be aware. So a lot of little changes going on this year. Let's see, look into my notes. And I know I talk really fast because I'm like really nervous. So a big thing is itemizing. Like Sue Hope says, that is keeping things, recording everything, writing everything down. It doesn't even matter. You could use a software, you could use Excel, you could use pen and paper, whatever works for you. You want to write it down. The reason being, and I wouldn't recommend necessarily using your journal unless you're really, really detailed with your journal, because as a notary, our notarial services or our notarial acts, they're not subject to self-employment tax. So if anyone's not aware, self-employment tax is a tax that's considering of Social Security and Medicare taxes, primarily for individuals who work for themselves, like us. It's very similar to the taxes that are withheld within like a normal paycheck. That is important because you want to know what are your goals. If your goal is just to have this as a side hustle, then okay, maybe it may not affect you deducting something like that. Or it may. Understand that when you do your taxes, you have to pay taxes on your income, and then you, based off of your deductions, you can put in there what you would like to deduct, because you could deduct a lot of things. A lot of things can be deducted, but that may not work for your specific situation. So that's something that you want to talk to your tax preparer, let them know, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I have. This is how many dependents I have or do not have, and things like that. So our notarial acts are the actual like acknowledgements, jurats that we're doing. It does not count like mileage. If you're one of those that count mileage, count a late fee, a waiting fee, I've seen that. You can still charge that, but understand that all of that is subject to taxes. A lot of people ask, well, how much taxes should I pay? That depends. So a lot of people, what's commonly known as taking 30% of that income. I would say yes, that's a good guesstimate to be on the safe side, but it's not always 30%. There are brackets within the IRS, and that changes every year because of inflation. So I think this year it's like if you made income from 0 to, I think it was 9,482, that amount is taxed at 10%. Then 483 to, I forgot what number, some number high there. It's 12%, and then 15%, and then it goes all the way up to, I think, 37% as well. And there's a certain way, I probably should have had a board to show you, but there's a way to do it. But even then, at the end of the year, if you make like 50, I think if you make under 100,000, you would still fall under the 27%. I have to look at it. But 30 is the best way to go. You can either every week, every month, every paycheck, take out a little bit of amount and keep it to the side. Or you can pay the IRS quarterly, whichever one. I mean, you have to pay the taxes either way, either up front or in the, or towards the back end. The IRS actually has a website. Let me see if I copy and paste that and put it in the notes. It's called Tax Withholder Estimator. You can do this whether you are a 1099 or just a regular employee. See if I can paste it on here. Boop, yay. So you can actually use that website, and that will calculate how much taxes you have to pay, especially for those that have to fill out, like if you are a W-2 employee. So that's going to ask you everything. It's going to ask you your information, if you have a spouse, if they have a job. It's very, very nosy, but the point is trying to give you the most accurate one, because you don't want to pay too much. You don't want to pay over taxes, but you definitely don't want to pay under. And that's one of the things that are really, really good. And then, let's see, I always got to go back to my notes.
You are dropping all kinds of gems.
And the thing is, I'm trying to keep it real short because I'm like, I got a lot.
This is what I wanted. I don't like once you guys get to know me, I don't like a lot of fluff. I don't like wasting time. Just punch me in my face. Let me feel it. Let's keep it moving. Yes.
We'll catch you up later.
Yes, exactly.
So one of the things that I have learned is, so there are ways, especially in taxes or however you do your business, that you can keep money in your pocket. That is on probably like an individual one-by-one basis. Again, it depends on your goal. Is this a side hustle? Do you want to be, the next Bill Soroka? Do you want to just, you just want to have something? Everything is different. Do you want to just make enough income to buy your own house? All of these things come into play. And to be honest, you have to be very forthcoming to that, because a lot of taxpayers, they may not be thinking that. They'll just say, okay, you're single, you have a kid or whatever, and then put it on there. And then, because our goal is to help you maximize your refund. But maximizing your refund may not help you if you are trying to, say, purchase a house. Like, for example, if you make, and I'm just throwing out random big numbers, right? Let's say you made $50,000 for the year, but with all of your expenses and your notarial acts, you can deduct $40,000. That's great, yay! But understand that doing that on your taxes, that literally means that you only made $10,000 for the year. You can't buy a house or a car with $10,000 for the year. So that's why you have to kind of, see where you're at, what you want as a goal. And because if you can do that, because you can legally can, and you have a house, you have 5 houses, 3 cars, 2 dogs, great. More power to you. I want to be like you. But we got to look and really figure out what it is that your goals are. Again, notarial acts, they're not subject to self-employment tax. That's not a have to. You can still claim it. That's just a benefit. If you choose to be, there are differences between being a DBA and being an LLC. So let me put this on here. I'm not a CPA and I'm not an accountant. I can't give you legal advice, but I can give you friendly advice based on my experiences. So here, if you want to become a legit business, talk to a professional, talk to an accountant, a CPA, to see what best works for you, because there are differences between being a sole proprietor, right, which is treating your business like a business, and then you have the DBA where you're masked with a name, but you're still a sole proprietor, and then you have like LLC and corporation, stuff like that. All of that makes a difference. If for a DBA, and I don't know any other states, but here in Texas and San Antonio, for a DBA, it only lasts 10 years. I will tell you, it is county, it's only county-wise what a DBA is. So if you if you've just become really good, have a name, I would always highly recommend being a legit entity because it protects, you have a certain protection to that. And then there are also tax benefits, depending if you're taxed as a C Corp or an S Corp. All of that plays into how you're paying your taxes. And like I said, that's kind of probably a conversation more one-on-one because it depends on how it works. But I can tell you, like, some situations you'll be double taxed, some situations you can pass it over through your own expenses. And it's like too many variables to sit there and talk. But again, that's something that you want to sit with yourself, write down what you want for the goals for 2021 and figure out, like, what is it that I really want to do? And depending on what you want to do, then that will help tremendously as far as all of these with the taxes. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is understand the difference between a tax preparer, an enrolled agent, and then a CPA. So a tax preparer, which is someone like me, all you need is an active P10, which is a preparer tax number identification number. That's all you need. The IRS doesn't require any sort of certification. It's just if you're knowledgeable with taxes, enroll in here and yay, there you go. So you want to be careful who does your taxes. Now, in my case, I do it with VITA, so we have no choice but to get certified with the IRS anyway. And I like that because they really help you out. They show you, they really educate you on the differences. So I like that. Your level up would be an enrolled agent. So they are actually licensed by the IRS, which is different from being certified. I'm certified, meaning we are knowledgeable, we see the difference, and we are able to work the software. Being licensed from the IRS, that's a whole 3-part special exam, and they have to demonstrate the proficiency and preparation and also representing you. So I believe they have to do 72 hours of continued education, and that's every 3 years. So a difference between what they do and I do is that if you have any issues, they can represent you. An enrolled agent can represent you in court. Tax preparers cannot. So understand that if you're getting your taxes done by a tax preparer, when you sign that, you are the one responsible. It doesn't matter. I mean, it sounds bad, but it doesn't matter if I did something wrong. It's your job to look at it and make sure that it is done correctly. And I've had issues where I had a friend, he had someone do their taxes, and then the following year he had to pay a huge chunk of money, and we couldn't understand why. And when we look, it was because the tax preparer, I don't know where was the miscommunication, but they claimed that he had a kid. He doesn't have any kids. And you get a chunk of credit for that. So now he had to pay, and you know what I'm saying? You got to be mindful. Now, understand the IRS, they're not these like creepy monsters like, oh my God, we're here to get you. No, it's not like that. They're especially if you're like, you make these mistakes from not knowing, they're super nice. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, we'll set you on this payment. This is the fee. I mean, it sucks that it's a lot of fees sometimes that you have to pay, but they're really good with working with you, especially if you're on a budget. It's only if you're a repeat offender where they're like, hold on. And then understand that any mistakes that you make or any like really big things that's like, hey man, you claim this and you weren't supposed to claim this, understand that you would be red flagged. And meaning that you're just in the bucket to get randomly audited, and probably more audited than maybe one of us. But definitely don't want to mess with the IRS. But they're, like I said, they're not super creepy or anything like that. So you have your enrolled agents, and you'll always see their name and it'll say EO on it or EA on there. And then you have a CPA. The CPAs, they are the big dogs. They're the ones that are licensed by the state. They have study in accounting. Usually they offer like a wide range of services, but a lot of CPAs can be specialized in like tax preparation and planning and stuff like that. And any of those two, because I believe it's a lawyer, CPA, and enrolled agent, any of those tax professionals, they have those credentials to represent their clients, on those matters. And we're talking about like audits, payment or collection issues, appeals, things like that. So when you go, to find someone to do your taxes, if you don't do them yourself, because again, if you're really, really simple, and for simple, we mean just a W-2, you could go on, there are a plethora of do-it-yourself softwares that you could do your own taxes. But it's when you're like us, independent contractors, and you made more, I believe for us, you have to make more than $400. For us notaries, we don't do the $600 limit. It has to be 400 or less for you not to claim it. You just look into their background, ask. A lot of people, they're usually like word of mouth, like, yeah, they did good and they did good. Because according to the IRS, we as taxpayers, we leave so much money on the table.
On the table. Yeah.
They say it all the time. And I mean like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as I say, you want someone who really knows. I had a client who, she was a photographer, and we were able to deduct payroll for her 3-year-old. And you can legally do that because the 3-year-old was the employee. She was taking pictures of her baby in the cute little outfits. And so what you do is you pay them, right? You pay them what you would pay a normal salary, but because she's only 3 years old, you keep it and put it in an account to themselves, or maybe for school or something like that, and you can deduct that. That is a thing. So it's just that the laws change. You want someone that just doesn't sign up for, a P10 and say, hey, I could do your taxes. You really want someone who is really looking out for your interests, for your goals, and not just always like, yeah, let's get you the biggest refund.
Right.
But that may hinder you more than help you. So have someone where you can have a conversation with, understand, listen, this is what I want to do. And if I have to pay, not pay, what's the best way to do this? And that's it. That's all I got. So I'm ready for the questions.
Listen, that was amazing. That was amazing. I mean, you dropped a lot of stuff, and I didn't even know what the whole CPA. I guess it makes sense that, you're liable with whatever you tell that CPA. There's no attorney-client privilege. You know what I mean? So I think that's important to make sure that you have a CPA that you can trust and can do what you need to do. This is what I'll tell you, Sueheily. What I want to do is keep the questions to the end, if that's cool with you. I'm keeping a log of everything, so we just keep the panel going, and then at the end, I'm going to grab all the questions. Is that cool?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of done with my notes. I kind of went to the point, to the point, just because.
I love it.
Hold on, I'm trying to exit out of here. It won't let me. See, here we go. Okay, now I can see you. Yay! I was looking at my notes. No, that's kind of just it. After that, it's kind of just a little bit more. Like I said, it has to be more specific, because if I say something, I'm like, there's too many variables, and I'm like, well, it can or cannot depend on.
All good. All good. Okay, cool. So like I told you guys, I put Sueheily put an amazing checklist together. I will have that up on my link tree in my bio on Instagram, so you guys can download that. It's an amazing just checklist to make sure all of your I's and T's are dotted and crossed. Okay. So up next, Sue Hope. I appreciate you. Let's rock out. Your turn.
I appreciate you too. Again, oh my gosh, Haley, that was awesome. I'm like, okay, there's questions I have now. So now I'll chat with you offline too.
Sounds good. I'm here.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. And this kind of information is so important. And I just to parlay a little something that you were talking about is we get comfortable as people. We get comfortable with our insurance company, with our tax preparer, but things change. So don't be afraid to research in between, so you don't get stuck leaving money on the table. Sometimes your insurance company, your homeowner's insurance, E&O insurance, you just kind of get, I'm used to paying this and it keeps going up every year. Well, why? Why is it going up? And maybe we do need to do that cost comparison with another person. So bringing that to our attention again and keeping on top of your tax professional to make sure that they're up with the laws that are changing too helps everybody win. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So me and Miss Ms. Ty, do you want me to share a screen and kind of drive
Yes.
everybody through Notary Assist? Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
all right.
please.
Let me do that. I have that all kind of queued up in case you wanted me to.
I love it.
Okay. So let me hop on here. Let's see. Share screen. It works best with two monitors. Well, that's not going to happen today. Anyway,
Yeah,
hang on. Let me go here. Okay, can you see this? Can you see Jane Notary?
No, I don't see anything yet.
Okay, hang on. Let me go here. Oh, I forgot to click another button. Apologies. Windows application. Let me see here. This one. All right, here we go. Hang in there. That's my mail. And it should be right here. Do you see that?
No, we still don't see anything.
You don't have
I don't see
anything?
anything.
It says it's sharing. Let me see. StreamYard is sharing a window. Is it? And it's not seeing it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, hang on. Apologies.
Oh, okay.
Technical difficulties.
All good.
Let's see. Let me try one more time. Can you see me? Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, okay, good. I wanted to make sure I got back. I got lost. Okay. Use this with two monitors. Okay. Okay, share screen. And I want Chrome tab. Here we go. Try this one. I love it when a plan comes together. Do you see this now?
Still nothing. What's happening?
Really?
No.
Oh my gosh, it asked me for Chrome tab. Oh, yeah. It says it is.
Are
Let's
you
see.
showing your entire? Are you doing the entire screen application window, or what are you doing? Which one are you doing?
I'm doing a tab on Chrome.
Okay. I would
It
say
says
try
it's
to do your. I would say try to do an application window or your entire screen. So
All
when you
right,
click on
let me
this,
do
yeah, see if that
that. I'll
works.
try again. Sorry. I thought I was following all the rules. All right, let's try this one more time. So you want me to share? I'll share my entire screen, and
Yeah,
then
see if
we'll
that
try
works.
this. Well,
See if that
I want to share audio. I want to share my audio. Yes.
If it doesn't work, I'll try to do mine.
So it's only letting me do. Let's try my entire screen. It says application window, and then it's got a. So I have three choices, and it's showing Notary Assist as one of the windows I can share. Let me try one more time. So can you see that?
No, I can't see anything. Mm-mm.
All right, disappointments. Okay, stop.
Let me. You want to see if I can try to share, and then I try to walk through it as you talk, or?
So could you see it, Ty?
No, I can't see it. Let me see
Let
me see if hang on one second.
Chrome is trying to microphone. Yes, I understand that. So let me try this.
Can you guys see my screen?
Oh, look at that. Okay, Ty, I'll use you. I'll navigate you. You'll be my driver. So it didn't want to share with me. I was going to give you Jane Notary, and Jane Notary has got some information in there. But so since Jane's not wanting to be with me today, we'll go with Ty. Ty's my backup, and we appreciate Ty. Okay, so we're going to click on the dashboard for me, please.
Okay.
And the dashboard is the landing page. Yep, right here on the Yep, that's the dashboard. So when you land in Notary Assist, this is the first thing you're going to see. And when you're brand new like Ty, it's going to count down your trial days and all this wonderful stuff. See this red subscribe now button? That you do not have to push until you're ready to subscribe. So we count down the days for you. We give you 30 days or 20 new appointments to try our software in full with no credit card needed. So we give you an opportunity to really play with our software, ask us questions, and get everything set up so that you can see the value in the software before you have to commit to anything. Okay, we just feel like let's give you a real free trial. So when you come down the left navigation bar, so you'll see everything along the left is how you navigate through our platform. Okay, we tried to make it very easy and straightforward and easy to use. So the first thing we're going to click on, we're just going to go straight down the left margin so it'll be easier. So we're going to click on signings, and we're going to click on view signings. And that's going to take us to our quote unquote spreadsheet view. Now, we try to give people an opportunity to use the software both as a similar to an Excel spreadsheet. So you're going to see this kind of information across laid out in columns. And we're going to give you the date of your appointment, the time of your appointment. Name is going to be who you're signing or who you're meeting. And your customer is who's going to pay you. So you might be working for a signing service. So you might see 1, 2, 3 signing service in here, and you're meeting Mr. and Mrs. I think it says Mainville. I can't tell from.
Yes, Manville. Yes, like location. Yes, the Manville.
So, and then the amount is how much you've contracted or agreed upon to go for that or for that appointment. And then the invoice sent date, invoice paid date. Now, you're not going to have all this information when you're first putting it in. Right now, you're just going to grab the information, put it into your calendar, and hold the spot so that you know what time is booked for you. As you do the appointment, you're going to gather this information moving forward so that you can see it displayed across this view signing screen. Some people may not need to invoice at all because some signing services will do this for you automatically. So you won't have to necessarily invoice. But if you put an invoice sent date in, NotaryAssist will start counting from the date of that sent invoice, how many days until you receive payment. So we can help you keep track of the companies that pay you quickly versus the companies that are very slow to pay. Now that helps you decide on a Friday afternoon who you're going to say yes to if you have a last minute signing. Because I'm sorry, but I'm going to say yes to the person that pays me faster than the person that does. Just my 2 cents right there. Now, mileage is also going to help you. NotaryAssist will help you track mileage. We'll help you do it in 3 different ways, and I'll talk about that shortly. Then our order number, that's going to be, if you do escrow, you're going to see your escrow number in escrow number or order number. The next column is documents and notarial acts. So this column is basically the number of documents at the appointment that needed the notary's attention. Okay, this is just to help the notary, us, keep diligent records so that we can prove what we have done at that appointment. So that's the number of documents that needed our attention. Now, you might be doing a refinance for this appointment, and it might be 300 pages for the main set, 300 pages for the borrower set. What we're asking is how many documents needed the notary's attention. Okay, so that might be 11 for this example. Number of notarial acts, here's where it gets a little unique because every state is beautifully unique in the state of the United States of America. Now, the number of notarial acts is going to be the number of acts that you perform as a notary at that appointment. In most states, it's going to be the number of stamps that you put on the documents, regardless of how many signers there are. So if you have to do an acknowledgement, if you have to do an oath, if you have to do a jurat, how many times did you have to put your seal onto the packet? Now there's a handful of states, God love them, California's one, that allow you to charge per signature of the person signing the document. Okay, now there might be 2 at this appointment. There might be a husband and a wife, and they're both signing this refinance. So now in this new example, the refinance, you might have 11 pages and you have 2 signers. And I'm only talking about the state of California because that's what I'm licensed in, okay? In California, I can charge a fee, a notarial act for the husband, and I can charge a notarial act for the wife on each document that they're on. So for me, 11 times 2 would be 22 notarial acts that I perform. Then NotaryAssist would do the math for you to come up with a notarial fee value. Okay. And that comes in with what Sueheily was talking about your notarial acts being self-employment tax exempt. And I will show you that in a moment too. Tracking number, which is the last number column you're going to see on this page, is going to be if you have a UPS, FedEx label and you need to keep track of it, that is going to have your information there. And we actually link to those companies so you can actually see the tracking of your document packet, which has come in handy during COVID and supply chains being slowed or modified, when your escrow officer is calling you going, oh my gosh, did you not drop the docs off yesterday? And you're like, yes, I did. Here's my
Yes, I
fancy
did.
receipt. And oh, your assistant Johnny signed for it at 10:02 and it's in your mailroom. Not my problem. So it helps you feel more confident about keeping track of where your documents are if you have to drop them into a third party to get back to wherever you're going. So we have that all on this screen. Now, while we're on this screen, I would say this is one of our most powerful screens in the software and what sets us apart from Excel, because I know a lot of people ask, what's the difference between your software versus Excel? This is also a database. So you can filter on many different things. So by default, when you come into the system, it's always going to show you this year. But if you click on the drop-down box that says this year, you're going to see a list of options that you can select from to sort your data to reflect on the screen. So I'm going to ask Ty Sweetly to click on the this year drop-down box. Sorry, I don't have control.
It's okay.
And then we give you all these different options. Now, you can go all the way back. We've had this product out since 2010, so you'll see all the different years. If you've got data in all these years, you'll be able to click back and refer back to every signing that you did in 2013, 2017, 2019, last year. And then you can also sort, I need to see what I'm doing tomorrow. I need to see what I'm doing this week. I need to see what I did last month or what I'm going to be doing this month. So you can get rid of everything, because if you can think about how busy a notary is, this screen could be packed full of information. You could have multiple pages. See up in the upper right corner where it says page 1 of 1.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually have 1 of 50 pages, and you've got to be able to flip through that data quickly. So by sorting on these filters across the top, it will help you tremendously only see what you need so you can navigate through the system very quickly. Now, the All Customers tab that she was just clicking on will display every customer that you have entered into the system. So you can filter on just that customer if you need to apply a payment. So instead of seeing all of your customers and it being very busy, you can select one customer and see exactly what that customer has outstanding for you. The last column is all. You're going to click on that drop down, and that gives you a couple of different insights into our software, so you can see all the appointments that have been paid, all that are unpaid, and then we have unpaid 30, 60, 90, 45, just like I was talking about. If you apply a sent date, even if you don't send an invoice, just put a sent date in, you're going to see how many days it takes to receive payment. Also, we try to help you not have holes in your data by telling you which appointments you did not enter any mileage for and which ones you did not enter any notarial acts. So no signatures entered, okay? So that drop down is going to say that's basically no notarial acts. So that means you haven't assigned it with a notarial fee value to help us do the calculation for your self-employment tax reporting, okay? So this screen gives you so many, I'm touching on it very quickly, but this gives you so much power to sort through your data. And you can see the more data you put in, the more information you're going to get out of it. Okay. Batch actions at the top of the screen is if you have a client, like you work for a lawyer who wants to have one bill from you each month, but they want every single job that you did on one invoice. You can create a batch invoice. You can also apply a batch payment when you receive a check for multiple appointments. So let's say it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You can apply multiple payments at one time. Again, I'm just touching on the power that we have in this software. I'm not walking through every single thing, but just to give you an idea of all the opportunity that you have to customize this for your business. Along the left, we're going to kind of navigate to, now, if you're not a spreadsheet person and you're like me who lives in your calendar, you're going to click on calendar, and this gives you an idea of what your calendar of business is. So I want to know what I'm doing on Tuesday. I want to know what I'm doing on Wednesday, and so on. It by default goes to monthly, but you can make it a weekly or hourly calendar so that you can see your time. We also take this data and we can push it to your Google Calendar so that it can integrate with your smartphone calendar, so that you can keep your business appointments here in NotaryAssist and your personal appointments on your smartphone, so that now you can integrate and know exactly when you can say yes. Because I don't know about you guys, but it's so stressful when you say yes and all of a sudden you have a dentist appointment at the exact same time. What gets rescheduled? I don't know. You got to try and figure that out. And that's so stressful. And we want to try and eliminate that for you. Now you can get into the same information for each appointment by either this calendar view or by the view signings view. And Ty, I'm going to have you click on that 11 o'clock appointment that you have on that view. And from both the view signings view and the calendar view, you can enter in to what we call the entry sheet. This gives you an idea of how we enter the signings in. So you can either click on the day on the calendar, or you can set up a new appointment in your view signing screen. And then you enter all the details of your appointment in this screen. So you can put all these detailed informations in. We have a lot of type ahead fields. So if she's right in the address form right there at the bottom, if you start typing 123, Google will click on there and try to autofill what location you're going to. This will help you with speed of entry and also reducing errors so that you don't accidentally go to the wrong location. And then we take that information and we push it to your smartphone if you would like, and give you turn-by-turn directions from where you are. So this means you're only entering the information in one time instead of one here, one in your car, and then maybe again. So we're trying to help you stay quick and efficient, as well as not making very many mistakes. And then
I'm over here playing around. Sorry, Sue.
That's okay. You can play all you want. You're giving everybody a snapshot, so it's fantastic. Okay. So this way, it gives you all these different fields. Up here where it says signing type, this sets us apart from a lot of different software out there. By default, out of the box, we're always going to give you a refinance, purchase, sale, and HELOC. Because originally NotaryAssist was designed for the loan signing agent. However, as everyone on this panel can attest, notaries have grown tremendously over the last 10 years. Our services are so expansive now. We have modified our software to now allow you to select whatever type of revenue stream you may generate from your notary commission here. So if you do fingerprinting, if you're a wedding officiant, if you're apostilles, if you are an immigration notary, whatever revenue stream you use, you can add it in here, and I'll show you how to customize this drop-down box. And we will give you a report based on how much revenue you gain for each type of work you do. It's broken down by category. It'll total it for you so you can see where to focus your efforts. If you're brand new to this helps you figure out if you need to do more general notary work, more loan signings, apostilles, whatever. We can help you see the health of your business in so many different ways. And then this is just basically our information across the middle. It's going to say signer. That's who you're actually meeting. Contact right in the middle next to signers is going to be if there's a secondary or a co-signer as well. So if you need to keep track of multiple phone numbers, the middle tab is going to be invoicing should you need it. We're going to click on invoicing, and it's going to show you that you can generate an invoice. You can mark it paid. What's also nice is that we hate to do this, but from time to time, you may not get paid all $60 for your appointment. So Ty, I'm going to actually have you modify that amount in there. I'm going to have you make that $30 and hit save. And that's going to reflect a partial payment. Now, if you click on that number again, or click on that Drake again, yep, and go back into invoice and it's going to add another, see how it says add a payment? Now it knows that you did not get paid that full amount. So now you can say, okay, I now need to add on February 7th, the second installment. and it'll mark that you got paid 2 different times. That's important because, like Sueheily will say, you pay taxes when you receive the money. So let's say you did a signing in December 15th of 2020, but you're not receiving payment for it until 2021. NotaryAssist knows to move that income to the next tax season, but keep that information handy for you. Okay, so that's important. We try very hard as notaries not to have partial payments. We want to get paid all at one time. But if for some reason something happens, somebody's arguing, well, you didn't have docs back in time, we're holding $20 off of you for whatever. Or let's say the signing never went through, but you got a print fee. You can now modify the price so that you know what you were paid. We're going to go ahead and hit tracking. If you click on the tracking tab, and now you've got, this is your notarizations. Again, we've got notarial acts and documents, mileage start. Now, Ty has this set up for odometer to odometer. Now, when you're depreciating a vehicle, see, I'm trying to be like Sueheily. When you're depreciating a vehicle, the IRS wants to see your mileage beginning and your mileage end. So we give you these fields so that you can put in the exact odometer readings for each trip. And then it will auto-calculate how many miles you went for that trip and assign a IRS.gov mileage tax rate to it automatically. We do that we modify our calculations based on the IRS.gov standards. Okay.
That's amazing.
So, but that's one way that we track it. The other way we track it is by total miles. Some people just want to be able to say, I went 12 miles, period. I don't want to do odometer to odometer. I'm not going to depreciate my car. I just want to put in 12 miles. You can do that. We can also auto calculate based on Google's, we're not geolocating, but based on an algorithm, we will go from your start location to your signing location and back, and auto drop a placeholder in there for you. And depending on what you choose on this screen where she is, a different placeholder will be there for mileage. So she's odometer to odometer. Total miles will just have a box, and auto calculate will just have a box. So you don't have to see those two categories. Now, the last thing I'm going to do right now, that's kind of in detail what we went through. I'm going to quickly go over. We're going to close this screen. I'm going to show you settings, how you can customize NotaryAssist for your needs. So if you go down to settings, mileage, see the mileage top one on top? This is where I was talking about how you want to do it. So out of the box, it starts with odometer to odometer because that's what the IRS really likes. They like odometer to odometer, but they will allow if you just give them the total miles. So you can switch by clicking on the different buttons and then hitting save, depending upon what you wish to do for your business. Okay. And whatever you choose, you just hit save and it'll start auto calculating it for you. Okay. But if you started with odometer to odometer and then switched to auto calculate, the mileage that you had previous will stay, and only things moving forward from the time you switch will be auto calculated, just to give you an idea how the software works. Okay. Now, yep.
You're good.
Okay. And now if we go close out of settings and we're going to go into these signing types, this is where you can modify what kind of revenue you're seeing. So you can see how this is out of the box. Now, if you add new signing type, you can add fingerprinting, you can add background checks, you can add car, some people sell car title or they do car titles, any kind of revenue that you do. I even have a lady whose husband is a handyman and she puts in his income because they filed jointly. She puts his, appointments for his handyman work in here. So I love it. I mean, it breaks it down what her income is and what his income is. So it helps them see what they need. And then we generate a report based on each one of these categories for you. So that's how you can add it. And then you hit save. It will add that to the drop-down box that we saw previously. The Google Calendar and the iCalendar is how you can push to your smart devices. You just have to allow access. It's a few simple clicks. We can help you with that. It's very simple, and you just authorize it to push that information. And then we go back, and then the last thing we have is the reports. If you click on the reports, you're going to see our array of reporting. So this is where we differ too from Excel. We take all the information that you put in, and then we break it down by these report categories. So the income report is going to be money that you made from this time period to this time period. The unpaid report, same thing, just who hasn't paid you. Now, the tax report is probably our biggest report, and that's the one where Sueheily is going to look at it and go, that's her Schedule SE. That's how much reflects over. We break apart all of the information, like Sueheily was saying, as far as if you charge a rush fee, if you charge a print fee, if you charge any other kind of fees outside of notarial acts, we break the two apart so that we know what we're only reporting on the Schedule SE is what was not exempt from if you choose to exercise this exemption, this is how we break it down. So we will show you those reports based on all that information that you put in. The tax report shows you your gross Schedule C. It will show the total of your notarial fee values, and it will show you what to report on your Schedule SE. What we do in general is take the amount of your notarial fee value and subtract it from what you were paid to give you a value on the Schedule SE. So in this example that's on the report right now, she was paid $30 to do this appointment. Her notarial fee value was $20, meaning what's left over, $10 is reported on the Schedule SE. Now we do this broken down by each appointment, and we give you this information. We break it all down, and this is when we recommend that you take it to somebody as wonderful as Sueheily, that she will then look at your book of reports and say, oh, look at this. You have this much in notarial fee value. This is how much you gained. And then this is how much is on your Schedule SE. Let's see what's right for you. So we help her break it down so that she can see everything, your history, your health of your business in a couple of reports. The other report that we have that will help you is your expense report. So if you just hit the tab, there you go, perfect. The expense report breaks it down by expense types. We don't have anything in here, but that's okay.
No, I don't have anything in there. Yeah,
that's okay. Go to expenses for me, please, Ty.
Expenses? Okay.
No, in the system. There you go.
Okay.
You're an excellent driver, by the way. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Well,
okay,
if you go into expenses, it's up above. Go to expenses on the tab. There you go. And view expenses. I know there's nothing in here right now, but you can add expenses. Any expense that you have for your business, you can add in here. You can also add recurring expenses. So let's say Ty now has subscriptions for YouTube channel or StreamYard. Anything that she needs for her business, she can add as a dues and subscriptions or software. And again, her tax professional is going to tell her the categories that they would like to see her break them apart for. So you can add an expense at any time and hit save. Now this is a basic expense. This will be a one-time only. If she wants to add something that comes every month, she can add recurring. Or let's say you have E&O insurance that you pay for once every 4 years or once every year, you can add a placeholder in recurring expenses and we'll drop that in there for you, making you not have to physically add every single receipt that you have. So we try to help you maximize your time and efficiency and less room for error. We're humans. We all are going to make mistakes from time to time, but we try to reduce your error so that your reports are as up to date and proper as possible.
Awesome.
And then if you're like, let's say you're doing this, what's so fun about NotaryAssist is that you're starting, January is awesome. You're starting on the fresh foot. Boom, we're ready to go. But let's say you were introduced to NotaryAssist in June and you have a recurring expense that I pay this every month. Well, you start in June, you could add the recurring expense, and NotaryAssist will ask you, do you want us to go back to January 1 and auto-fill those expenses for you? You can say yes. We'll drop that in once a month on the 1st, the 15th, whatever you choose, up to the current date, and then every date moving forward. So sometimes it helps you get these expenses in quickly so that when you're under the gun on April 10th to get your taxes finished and off to your tax preparer before the 15th, it helps you. And there's no judging, because I have been that person. I know, and I totally feel your pain. So this is to try and help you make it much easier. The last thing I want to show you in expenses is expense types. And here again, this is where we allow you to customize what you need for your business. So this is a generic out of the box, what we gave you as far as rough categories. But you're going to sit down with your tax professional like Sueheily, and she's going to look at this and go, you know, I really like automobile expense, but I would like you to break it apart to be automobile expense, gas, automobile expense, repairs, automobile expense, insurance, because she wants to see it all broken down so that maybe she can analyze what's best for you. Is it best for you to do the mileage deduction for this year? Or is it best for you to depreciate your vehicle because you had to do so much in repairs? You had a new transmission this year. Who knows? Or you had to buy 3 sets of new tires. We put a lot of wear and tear on our vehicles, and being able to work with a tax preparer or somebody who's knowledgeable like Sueheily will help you organize all of the things that are so important for your business. But we allow you to track your filing of your oath, I've watched so many mobile offices right now. It's incredible what you guys are doing. You have a rolling office, you have batteries, you have printers, you have scanners, you have incredible stuff in the back of your car so that you're ready to go at a moment's notice. All of that equipment is an expense, right, Sueheily?
Absolutely. As we're going, I'm like, oh yeah, let me put a pin for this. Like, yes, anything, your paper, your pen, your batteries, your extra for the printer on the back, all of that is tax deductible.
And now with COVID, we have new supplies. We have clipboards, gloves, hand sanitizer, masks,
yes.
all that stuff that we're giving, disposable thumb printing strips, whatever it is that you're using to stay COVID compliant, to be safe for your customer, that's all expenses. And keep them somewhere safe like this so that you can share them with your tax professional. These are things that might fall through the cracks, that you're not used to keeping track of. We know about pens and toner and, journals, but now we're buying masks and we're buying plexiglass. We're buying tables and chairs to sit outside so that people don't have to let you into the house. So these are things that we have to be flexible with. And we give you the ability to change and modify each one of these expense types for what your business needs. So that's really helpful. And then we break down the report by category. So we'll break down the report so you'll see a total for each one of these categories so that you can see where you spent your money.
Nice.
I think that's good. I'm sure I'm giving you so much information, and I know there's so much I could go over, but there are some videos on YouTube with Notary Coach Bill. I've done a 5-day series on there with Bill that kind of goes over things even more in detail. He's a fantastic coach. He's all about giving you knowledge and keeping you on top of your business. Right now is the most exciting time to be a notary. We're so in demand right now, and keeping all of our stuff organized will only make you more successful. So just let us know. We can help you customize the software for whatever you need. Let us know if you have questions. We answer the phone. We answer the text messages. We answer email support. We're always available anytime. Just give us a call. We'll be happy to help you. And I just thank you so much for letting me share our product with you.
Awesome. Freaking
Cheers.
sauce.
Now I got to drink.
Let's go. I got my drink. All right. So that was amazing. Sueheily, you guys are amazing. I'm so humbled and honored to have met both of you, and the information that you guys are sharing, just humbly blessed. Mr. Soroka, let's get it.
Yeah, let's do it. That was incredible. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sueheily. If I had just one piece of advice for you today, it would be to do exactly what Sue and Sueheily have said and start this year off the right way. I did not do that. So I learned the hard way how important bookkeeping is. And my CPA still hasn't forgiven me. And I just got a CPA like last year or the year before. And he was able to refile my taxes and save me tens of thousands of dollars because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't track anything. I didn't hire a true professional to do this work. So software like this, knowledge like this is going to serve you really well. So I'll keep it really short and sweet because I saw some amazing questions that were coming through the chat. And I know there's going to be great ones for Sueheily and Sue.
Yes.
We're all geeking out together on taxes and stuff, but that is not my strong suit. That's like phase 5. This is day-to-day management of your business, but this is a great problem to have right now. And I was going to mention, Ty, I was looking at this panel. You realize, I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but you have represented all 4 of the major time zones in the U.S. We got Sue in the Pacific, we got me in Mountain, we got Sueheily in Central, and we got you in East. So everybody's represented here.
Yep.
And Sue, you kind of touched on this. This is a very exciting time to be in this business. It's weird. We have never experienced this level of growth. Who would have thought that a pandemic in 2020 would have triggered a massive need for our services? But it did. And so there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also there's a flip side to the coin too. So I have 2 things I want to leave with you today. The first one is that even though it is an amazing time to be in this business for most of us, we need to be sensitive and aware that there are other people having a different experience right now. And on the general public side, you know, there's people who have lost jobs, lost businesses, lost loved ones. On the notary side too, we've got lots of amazing notaries who had to stop their business because they are impacted. Maybe they have family that they have to take care of. Maybe they're in a vulnerable class and they're not able to do this business that they love. And I think it's important that we honor that. And the best way to honor that, it takes me to point number 2, is don't squander this opportunity. That's the best way to honor this. And there's a few things to make sure that we do that. Make sure that our phones keep ringing and dinging so that we can max out services like NotaryAssist. So we have something to manage. So the first one is when it's this busy, we're busier than ever. We are going to meet more people than ever. So we've got to optimize those meetings and appointments because you never know who you're sitting across the table from. And one person can change everything for you in this business. One person. So you got to show up 100% present to every appointment. Be yourself. Remember, the power of this business of a solopreneur is your authentic self. So whatever you got to do, show up as yourself. And that takes me to number 2 or B of this is don't wing it. This work matters. Take some time and get your training. It doesn't matter where you get your training. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Right? You could come to Sign and Thrive. You could go to Notary to Pro. You got loan signing system out there. You've got lots of other new trainers coming up too. Get training, whether it's going to be in loan signings or in the general notary work or specialty notary work realm. Become the expert. Put in that time. Forever be the student and schedule your learning every single day so you learn something new every day and you're constantly becoming and expanding. That's super important. The other thing is huge, and I love that we are clearly of like minds on this call, is integrating additional streams of revenue, services, or creating a specialty or niche for yourself. So maybe that's in loan signings. Maybe that's in reverse mortgages. Maybe that's in general notary work that's going to look like estate planning documents or immigration paperwork or the apostille work, whatever that might be. Now is the time to start integrating that. So 2 years down the road, when interest rates start kind of creeping back up to semi-normal range and the refinances might slow down, you've got a business that's going to sustain, because if the people needed a notary once, they will need a notary again. And in general notary work, think about all the times that people need a notary. Anytime they're being born or adopting, getting sick or dying, selling stuff, buying stuff, and lots of stuff in between, they are going to need a notary. So general notary work in most states is going to make a lot of sense for creating sustainability. Next, master your digital presence, especially if you're doing general notary work, especially if you're going to do a wedding officiant or any of these other little things that fit under the notary umbrella. You have got to have either a website, a Google My Business page. It can be super simple, but you've got to have a presence online and you've got to do your search engine optimization. I guarantee you this time next year, you're going to be kicking yourself if you're not doing SEO right now. Blend it, build it into your day every single day, because that organic growth online for search engine optimization takes a little bit of time. And then finally, and another great tool for this is keep track of your customers. No matter which way you do it, whether you use a CRM, you just use NotaryAssist. If you use a legal pad or an Excel spreadsheet, do something to keep track of your customers and stay in touch. So you always have a way to tell them what's new, check in on them. How can you support them? How can they support you? And finally, and this is the big one, and part of why I love being a part of a program like this, is build your network. Start helping each other right now. There is no success without helping other people be successful. You got to reach your hand back and pull other notaries up with you. There is plenty of business for everyone.
That is freaking amazing. I know that we're bottom at the hour. I know this is like a 2-hour event, but I want to get to the questions. But I wanted to go back to what you had said, Bill. I think it's so important that we network as notaries. This community is so huge. We have 4.5 million notaries in this country, whether they're active or not. But there's a huge community, and I think that the importance of us being notaries is not only serving our community, but it's serving our internal community. Making sure that people are aware of what's going on, and it's okay to share information. Sharing is caring, you know?
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we only have a few more minutes. I want to get to these questions, some awesome questions, actually. So I'm going to start on StreamYard, and then I'm going to move to YouTube. So let's get it. So the first question I have, I'm going to try to pop it on the screen.
Yeah, I was actually writing a couple of them down and I opened them up. So
yeah,
I think we had some on the private chat. If you don't mind, just so I can get rid of my tabs.
Private chat.
So,
I got the private chat.
Okay,
Yep.
so Sue stated about the timeline. So as that changes, so as of today, 1099 forms need to be sent out January 31st. So we have several different deadlines. If you are a legal entity and you are scheduled, you are set up as a S corp, you need to file your taxes by March 15th. Then everyone else is April 15th, and if that doesn't work, you can do an extension, which is filling out the form. I believe it was 4868. Then that'll extend it for 6 months. So then you're due there on October 15th.
Yeah.
Yes, October. I was like, trying to remember it's there.
Question for you, Sueheily. So with the whole COVID-19 and all that crap that's happening, not crap, I apologize. All the stuff that's happening in the world, are taxes delayed? Did they move them out? Do we have time, or it's still set as it is?
That's what I said. It changes so much by week. That's why I said as of today, there has been no extension for this year. We are still set for April 15th.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. I was wondering.
No, we still got you. Yeah.
All right, so let me go to the. Let me just draw this real quick. Let me. So the next question is from Sharon Jackson. She stated. Let me just see if I can put it on the screen. Oh no, it's in private. So it says, to confirm, each notarial act is treated as a deduction, an expense on Schedule C.
That is incorrect. It is not a deduction. So there is another section depending on like the software or however it works. No, your exemption is going to sit under. Let me see. I looked it up. I actually wrote that down.
I love it.
It's going to be on another form. It's on the here we go. The self-employment tax. So it's a Schedule SE, which is in parentheses, it says Form 1040. that is where, and it's on line 3. That is where you put your exemption. It is not considered a deduction because what happens is what you're saying is, let's say you made $100, but $50 out of that was your notarial acts. You're saying that you're making only $50, and that's not what we're doing. We're saying, yes, I made the $50, and don't, we're not going to tax that amount, but it's not a deduction. It'll lower your income, your gross income. It'll lower that, so it's not a deduction. No.
Okay. I know that, Sueheily, you put something also in the private chat. You said, and remember, if you sign up with NotaryAssist, this is a tax deduction. You concur, Suehope?
I concur. It is. It absolutely is.
The next thing, Sueheily, you just dropping gems all around. Mileage is the biggest tax deduction. You can choose to use the standard tax deduction or itemize.
Yeah, so the difference between that one is, so having a system like NotaryAssist is great because it'll calculate it. You could pull a report and it'll be easy for me. If you're still doing pen and paper or Excel, you have to, there are apps and stuff like that, but you have to calculate it. So if you're using your vehicle, your personal vehicle, also as business, I would recommend doing the itemize. And how that works is when you calculate the total mileage of the car, and out of that, there was a portion that was it's business miles. When you do the calculation, whatever that percentage is. So if you use your personal vehicle for business 50% of the time, then 50% of your gas, 50%, let's say you had to buy new tires, 50% of your oil change, 50% of all of that, you can use that as a deduction because you.
What? I'm leaving money on the table. What's
yes, and mileage is the biggest out of all the deductions, out of all of your expenses, right? Pen, paper, computer, stuff like that. Mileage is the biggest one, so that you definitely want it. So if, again, I know, Ty, you're still using Excel, old school. Come on, bring it up, girl.
You know I am. I'm trying to use NotaryAssist. You saw my first example. I was just trying to do a test run.
Okay, so if you're still starting, again, I know I want to be sensitive to where everyone's at budget-wise. So the best way you can do it would be on January 1st of each year, write what's on the odometer. Then calculate your business throughout the year, and then December 31st, you write down again what's the odometer. So you'll see that you drove 20,000 miles, but out of the 20,000 miles, 10,000 was business. 50%. Again, 50% of all the oil changes you did for that year, tax deductible. 50% of all filling up your tank, tax deductible. If you had to buy tires, because I know me, oh my God, last year I had to buy so many tires because I kept getting nails in them. 50% of that is tax.
Yes, what about tolls? What about tolls?
That's a good question.
Tolls. That's a good question. Can we? Oh, yes. That's considered travel expense. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
good question.
Now, in reference to like tolls, if you had to pay the toll for business, 100%. If you paid the toll because you went to go visit your friend, that doesn't count. So it's 100%. It's not a percentage. It's 100%. If you're going through the toll and you went to a signing, and then you went to your friend's house, I think you could. Oh, I'm recording. You can still do 100% on that.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
I know tolls, and the reason I asked that question, especially for someone on the East Coast or in a big city like New Jersey, New York, they're going over toll bridges. Even out here in the Bay Area, there's a lot of tolls. That's a big expense for a lot of mobile notaries. So I know it's kind of in that gray area, and that's why I would recommend breaking that out, even in NotaryAssist as an expense type, so that it's separated from everything else, just because then you can talk with your tax professional based on what your needs are. So I try to think of everything that you need, and tolls is big for a lot of urban notaries.
Yeah. Yeah, which I forget. I used to live in Florida and we did tolls everywhere. And here in San Antonio, we don't do tolls. So I'm like, tolls. I'd rather go around the toll. Like, let me take the scenic route. I ain't paying that dollar toll.
I have a question. Okay, so this is amazing. So I'm kind of jumping around, but I saw one question since we're talking about expenses. What if you get a freaking parking ticket? Can you expense that?
I want to say yes. It depends.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
depends. Let's put a situation. So you park somewhere, you got a parking ticket that you weren't supposed to, but you were going to a signing.
Mhm.
That's a good question. You know what? I'm not sure on
get
that. That's something I'd have to ask.
Okay.
Because
Get back
it's one
to
of those
me.
things of like, it's not you didn't need it for your business. It just happened to you. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with no, but ask your tax professional, see if they can wiggle that.
I got one
I
on
have to
street
ask.
sweeping day. I got one. I was parked out in front of it doing a signing, and it was street sweeping day. I came out of the signing, and I had a ticket on my windshield. I was so sad.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to. I'm trying to see how we can finagle that, and I don't think the IRS will let that fly because it's not. It's not needed. Your ticket is not needed for business, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't think
Sound
so.
like iffy.
Oh, I have an idea. Ty, aren't you with Legal Shield?
I am.
Yeah.
So you get
Yes,
Legal
I am.
Shield, and for your business, which is a business expense, you go through Legal Shield to help you negotiate the ticket, and then
Yep.
you can help it that way.
Yep.
That would be the only way, yes. And then because you need it for your business, that's a tax deduction. Absolutely.
I'm here for you, everybody.
Yes.
Come on now.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, cool. So let's keep rocking and let's see.
I did notice in the comments someone
Yes, ma'am.
asked what our business code is. So as a notary, our business code is 541199.
Whoa.
That is what you would
Say
use.
that again.
Hang on, let me get it. Hang on.
Oh,
Business code. Say it one more time.
541199. And that'll show up on your taxes. So if you do right, let me see here. I'm looking at my own taxes, guys. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, let me see. But yeah, it is 541199.
These gems, my
I
goodness.
know. I love that you just
Freaking
have
amazing.
that at the tip of your brain.
I know, right? You just rattle it off.
What I do, I have to keep writing it on certain things. So I'm like, I just know it because I do other stuff other than notary. So that's yeah, I'm good with numbers,
All
which
good.
I forgot to mention. And I'm pretty sure people are going to use this like in a bad way, but whatever.
It's all good.
This year. So if I know we've always hear like, hey, when it comes to charitable contributions, they always say, oh, you need to meet a certain threshold and then it'll be tax deductible. Not this year. You get if you done at least, and this is cash only, not giving away clothes or stuff to Goodwill. It's cash contributions only. So if you're a church going, you pay your tithes. You get $300. You can claim $300 of contributions this year. So that's not necessarily notary, but hey, add it in there if you did it.
Listen, add it. That's what I said.
Ooh,
All right, so
ooh.
I'm gonna try to go
So
for it.
every time you add $1 at PetSmart for the humane shelter, and every time you add $1 for like the grocery store when they're doing the food bank, does that count?
Mm-hmm. It's got to be cash.
Really?
Yeah. As long as it's cash. Yeah.
Yes, it adds $1 or $2 to your bill.
In bulk. It could out of the entire year. If you
Right.
gave $300, yep. So at the grocery store, if you gave cash to, I don't think Goodwill takes cash, but cash. If you gave to a church or an organization, or you're a tither, yes, they are allowing that. I don't know how long that's going to last. Hopefully a while, but that is a new thing this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Another tidbit. Because I was like, I have my tabs on here.
Listen, let's get it.
So if anyone is interested in becoming a legal entity.
When you say legal entity, Sueheily, can you explain when you say legal entity?
So
Okay,
a
good.
legal entity is when you register as a business with your state. That could be an LLC, a PLLC, a corporation. I think is the most common one. A partnership, anything like that, where you had to sign the application, pay the fee, and send it over to the Secretary of State. That is a legal entity. And I say it that way because we can still be a business. We could be a sole proprietor, DBA, and that's not a legal entity. And again, those things sit differently, and we can always talk about that at a later date. But one of those things, if you are a legal entity, LLC, PLLC, corporation, anything like that, when it comes to your taxes, understand that, again, be mindful of all your deductions. If you take a loss for 3 consecutive years, the IRS will no longer consider you a business. It will consider a hobby, and you can no longer claim your business deductions. So be mindful of that, especially when we're new, we're trying to keep as much money as, and again, don't be scared of it. Just be mindful. If you just started, like when I started August of a year. So I had to claim a loss because I spent way more than what I made. That's okay. If it happens, it happens. But if you do it for 3 consecutive years, that's not a business anymore. And I don't even know, I haven't gotten that far to know if you can claim it back. Like sometimes the IRS, they'll just take it and be like, no, you're trying to like whatever. Like it's always a lot. You always want to have a profit, even if it's $1. Let it be a profit, just so that you don't have to mess with that, because obviously you're in a business to make income, right? So you always want to go with that goal. That's why I said be mindful. If you just happen to be, I just think older. If you happen to be older with 5 homes, 3 cars, you're gonna deduct that. That's fine. $1 profit, you'll be fine.
I like it. So Bill, I know you just been sitting back, chilling, listening.
That's how I
You
do.
got anything to say?
That's how I do.
I've got pages of notes here, so I hope
Amazing.
you guys. This was really valuable, and I love that what you just mentioned, Sueheily. I never even considered that they would consider it a hobby if we.
Wow, I didn't either. Mind blown.
Yeah.
They'll definitely do that. They try to help you a little bit, but yeah, they'll definitely. And I do have.
Let's get this next question.
I wrote down like a bunch of notes.
You have a bunch of notes? All right, so let's do this.
I did look over some of the stuff, but I didn't go through all of it.
All good. So we have a few more minutes. We may run over a little bit, so if you guys have a little time, cool. I want to get to all questions because I know these questions are important. So I'm going to try to pop these questions on the screen so you can just look at them. This is from Candace Willie. I've been looking for written information on notarial fees not being subject to unemployment taxes. Where can I find that information? IRS website, etc.
So that your notarial fees should be on the Secretary of State, and it's I don't know if every state looks different, but for sure it should be in it should be in the Secretary of State website is where you will find your fees. You're not going to find anything that says, hey, this is not subject to unemployment. It's just notarial act. So what you charge for a signature or the stamp, that is your notarial fee. I know some of our fees, they'll say, hey, you can make a copy for 50 cents a page. That is not I don't think that's considered a notarial fee. You can't. That's
two more resources for her might be the National Notary Association. They have a huge database. Look up under her state. So like in the state's handbook, each state's handbook will tell you exactly what fee they can charge. And that's the fee value that NotaryAssist then uses to calculate Notarial Act fee value, which is what we then deduct from the gross and then that's how you get to what you report on the Schedule SE. But the National Notary Association has a huge database of what notaries can charge in each state. It's very, very good.
And if you're looking for the resource, the actual code in the IRS, it's IRS Publication 334. That will tell you.
We'll link to that on the website as well. Our website.
Yep.
It's on the website. Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Yep, no problem.
All right. We're still going. Okay. I think this is just a statement from Diane. Paying quarterly softens the annual tax payments.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like I said, you're gonna have to pay taxes regardless. So you can either pay it throughout the year, which I believe is quarterly, and you have to sign up. And with that one, you do an estimated. So you figure out what you're going to make for the year, and it's going to calculate this amount of taxes, and so you pay that quarterly. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to pay it in the back end when you do your taxes. Whichever one. Where I know some people prefer one, like I'd rather pay it up front, call it a day, and some people are like, no, I want my money now. I'll figure it out later. So whatever's comfortable, but either one works. Yes.
All right, cool. Next question, Sonia Smith. How does the taxes work with being a notary and starting a foundation? So I will tell you right now, I'm huge on charity. My biggest charity is St. Jude's Foundation. So majority of all, I won't say majority, I would say a percentage of the money that I make goes to St. Jude's Foundation. So I've always wondered, I don't want to, this may sound cliche, but if I'm doing something charitable, I don't want to have to tax expense that. I mean, I get it. That's just me. But if I were to do a tax, could I do that on a charity that I'm putting money towards? Does that make sense?
What do you mean by tax? Yeah.
So for St. Jude's, right? I put at least 10% of all my earnings that I make, and I send it to St. Jude's. Can I write that also? Can I write that off as a tax exemption?
So that falls under charitable contributions. So if you, again, prior, I don't know, if you meet a certain amount of threshold, you get a credit. This year, they're only going to do, if you at least gave $300, they will give you a credit. That's not something that you can because you don't own you don't own St. Jude's. My understanding from the question is is the person making a nonprofit? Are they registering a nonprofit? Because that's a little bit different. The nonprofit would be different. And I know that you need to have 3 people on it. And for a nonprofit, and I'm assuming a nonprofit could be something else. That's like a conversation I'd have to talk one-on-one just to get more information, only because anyone who is the founder of a nonprofit, they do not own it. It's not owned. And they have other tax, you have a lot of tax exemptions with that. If you're like a churchgoer or anything like that, that's different. You would have your notarials, you would have to claim that on your personal or on your Schedule C kind of thing. The foundation would be something different. Yeah, it wouldn't go together.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just trying to make sure I'm finding all these questions.
I did see one of them on reference to scanning receipts. So Sue, does NotaryAssist allow you to make copies of receipts or scan receipts?
Oh, she's happy.
It's coming. We are working very diligently, and I'm excited that somebody asked me that question because it's coming. We are working on that because we walk around with many computers like this in our hand. See this fancy thing? So just like we're bringing you the tracking number and you can see your tracking where it goes, we're working on technology to make that happen. Yes. So it's not ready yet, but hopefully in a few months, NotaryAssist is working on that.
Awesome. Amazing. All right. So we have a question from Kate. No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, okay. For receipts, until Sue gets that working out.
Yes.
What you can do is take a picture of it and save it to like a folder, or if you're doing paper, write it. Write down what it was. Write it down what it was, and depending on the receipt, you may have to keep it. So for us, right? If you have a receipt for Office Depot, that's obvious. No worries there. But if you have a receipt for Walmart, you may want to keep it because since Walmart does groceries and other stuff, like, okay, maybe you bought paper and pens. We have to see it in case you get audited from the IRS. You may have been very overzealous and spent like $5,000, which I can't see that, but $5,000 in Walmart in paper and supplies and all that stuff. The IRS is going to look and be like, really? You went to Walmart? We can show the receipt and say, yes, this is why. So stores where they're like that, if it's not super obvious, yes, keep them for your records. Take a picture, put it in a folder on the cloud, save it. If you can write those, because they're still expenses, write them down. However you do it, give that to your tax preparer so they can, because every deductions are different. Like paper pens, that sits in one thing. Let's say like how, Bill always tells us how he went to his favorite coffee shop and met with someone. That coffee for you and that client, that's actually tax deductible as well. I need the receipt. I need you to write down who it was with, what it was for, and then I can deduct that. But meals are, I believe, unless they've changed, I need to look. But meals, you only get 50% deductible. So that's what I said. Everything you can't just say, oh, this is what I spent for my business. No, I need to see. Was it supplies? Was it meals? Was it equipment? Equipment is one thing. If you buy a printer, you have two choices. You can completely deduct the total amount of the printer, or you could do a depreciation. Depreciation is the life of the printer, right? And how it cost. And then you are able to deduct every year, just a little bit every year of that until you have to go and replace another, or until you've met that life cycle. So keep that, guys, keep that.
That's amazing. All right, so for case settles, we have, what is the IRS business code for notaries? Did we already provide that?
I believe so. Yeah, that's
541199.
541199. 541199. Case settles.
Let me
All right,
see.
cool.
I believe there's a website. I don't know if that's the proper verbiage.
Okay.
But there's a website where you can look up these codes in case you do something else like bookkeeping or something on the side like that. I don't know, but it's NAICS.com. There you can put on the NARC code notary, and it'll give you your codes. And if there's anything else, like if you do anything on the side, you could look at that too. But yeah, it's 541199 is our code.
All right, so we have Angela Parks that's saying she's saying 541120. What's that one? Do you know what that code is?
No, not off the top of my head, but I can
All right.
look it up. This is
All right, I'll let you look while you do it.
what did she say? It was 5411.
1120. Mm-hmm.
That's Office of Notaries.
It's Office of Notaries.
That's what it's called. Offices of Notaries. Oh, unless they have an office, yeah, but our code is 99.
So offices, you mean if they actually have an actual brick and mortar, they would use the 541120?
That is what I'm thinking. Let me see if it has let me see if it pulls up a description. Oh, here we go. Okay. So the 541120, that is, this industry comprises establishments outside of lawyer and attorneys. So they primarily engage in drafting, approving, and executing legal documents such as real estate transactions, wills, and contracts. So this is a brick and mortar, is what this.
Okay.
So if you're a notary with a brick and mortar, you can use
this code.
and you can understand you can have more than one. That is the thing. You can have more than one. But I work from home, so.
Right, me too.
I don't want to pay rent.
Here's a little tip, and I don't know if people know this, and I only just learned this, so I might be behind the times, but on these fancy little phones, if you have an Apple phone and you have notes, you can scan a receipt and you can email it to yourself. So if you're at the coffee shop with Bill and you had coffee, you could take a picture of that in notes, and under the camera it says scan. You can actually scan it, and then you can email it or text it to yourself so that you don't actually have to physically hold on to the piece of paper. You can then keep it digitally. I just thought that was really cool. I didn't know notes as a scanner.
Me neither. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was an Android user. I'm still an Android user. I had to come over. Yeah, I had to come over to iPhone because I like the simplicity of, the
I'm Android for life.
Okay,
We
so
support you both. It's okay.
Before we go into everything else, we have a few more questions. We have 10 minutes left, but I wanted to give you guys just some information. Bill Soroka, me and Bill, we spoke, and I wanted to give you guys some books. His Sign and Thrive book.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
So we have these books right here.
Oh, good, you got it.
Right, there's loads of them here. We still have another set of books that are coming. Bill has sent those books to me. I appreciate you, and I'm going to be mailing them out on my dime. I'm not for sure how I'm going to do this. So panelists, if you guys have an idea, I'm up for it. I'm going to be sending these books out to you for free on my dime, so you guys can get an understanding about the Notary Coach. This book is amazing. All kinds of gems. It'll change your life. So I will be sending that out to you guys. I just have to figure out who I want to send it to. So Sueheily, Suhope, Bill, any suggestions? I'm open.
I mean, there's this, what I do, right, is there's this little website with, you put the names in there and they create the web and you click it and it'll go and rotate whoever it picks. That's who you send it to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google has the wheel like
Anyone
that
who has
too.
so anyone who registered and was on today, maybe you could do that.
I like it. Okay.
Oh, I
And
like
then the other giveaway,
that.
the
I
other
like
giveaway,
that.
Sue Hope. Sue Hope, you have a giveaway too, yes? You want to talk on it?
I do. So one lucky listener today is going to get a year of Notary Assist so that they can have a successful 2021 on us. So thank you so much for attending and being a part of this awesome, fun, informative collaboration with just uber cool notary people. And I like to be notary geek. So I want to share my my love for being a notary with somebody else who may have been struggling, trying to organize. I lived literally out of a shoebox. I did that for a long time. And it's very stressful, especially at this time of year when you're trying to get caught up and we're so in demand. You don't have time. You're like, oh my gosh, I went and I did 6 appointments today. I came home and I passed out. I was tired. And you're exhausted. And we try to make this easier for you. So one winner gets one whole year right on us. And that way, hopefully you can see if it makes your life and your business much easier to manage.
Amazing. Awesome. This is awesome. Okay, so let's just get a couple of more. There's still a lot of questions here.
If anyone got to ask.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just see here. Great stuff, Bill. If you have other people get what they want. Okay, so
I have a question for you. Okay, go ahead. No.
Oh, yeah.
So with Notary Assist, is signer info and signing services info kept private, meaning they won't be contacted by anyone. So similar to SnapDocs. If you put in the information from a company, they're going to ping on, right?
What we love about Notary Assist is your data is your data. We give you a platform where you can manage everything. It's your data. We don't share it with anybody. We don't data wrangle. We don't use it for any other purposes other than to keep your business successful and at your fingertips. It's your business.
Awesome. All right. Next question. That's for 2020. Just making sure I'm not missing anybody.
Yeah, we're looking at comments. We're trying to look at the comments here.
I know.
I had a question. The system that you have, it's done by like the bookkeeping portion. Is it cash or accrual? Cash.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked that question because we are mostly okay. First of all, will you please define cash and versus accrual?
So cash, it's a bookkeeping term on how you want to do your books. Really, I believe the cash method is more immediate, recognizing like your revenue and expenses as is, and then accrual is focused on what's anticipated. So that will determine. That also makes a difference when you do. I think the most common is cash, but again, it could do either one.
Correct. Okay. So we are. I would say 98% of our users are they do their books on cash. So our reporting, our algorithms are geared for that purpose. Okay. Which is what we kind of were talking about when you get paid when you do a signing on December 15th and you don't get paid until January. Our system understands you did the mileage in let's say you did the mileage in 2020, but you got paid in 2021. You'll get the mileage credit in 2020. You'll get the income in 2021. Okay. That's how we run it. Now, accrual is they are going to take care of all of that information. They're going to say that December 15th, that December 16th, all the way through the 31st, even though they don't quote unquote have the paycheck yet, they're going to pay taxes based on that information because it's expected money. So they're going to pay it up front. They're not going to let that roll into the next year. So we focus mostly on cash basis because that's what most of our users do. Now, as you get more successful, you may have to move into accrual, and that's what they want you to do. But right now, we're mostly cash basis.
Okay,
cool. All right. I know we're topping the hour, so I know we've been on here for 2 hours, but I'm gonna tell you guys, it hasn't seemed that long.
It's been like 10 minutes.
All right.
Yes. Amazing. There's so many questions, so I want to try to get to as many as possible. Let's see here. Okay, so Nick Hudson had a question. This is just, and maybe this is for you, Bill. If you want to take a grab at that one. So
yeah, definitely. So it sounds like Nick's in California, and those poor notaries in California. It takes a little longer to become a commissioned notary over there because you have to take a class, pass a test, and they are just now processing October tests. So
Wow.
it's taken a long time. But what that is to me, there's two ways to look at it. We can get totally bummed out and not do anything, or we can look at it like this is a forced time to become the expert on your state. And here's what I'll tell you is that test in California is kind of designed, the stuff you have to learn, the fees if you do this, what happens, the fines if you do this, that kind of scares the crap out of you kind of stuff. That's not necessarily going to be your day-to-day practice stuff. So I would be studying your state statutes. In the state of California, the Secretary of State puts out a newsletter in January that talks about their new rules and how they're interpreting or implementing rules. So you might want to study that. The NNA puts out the California Notary Primer. You might take a look at that and really study how to be a great notary first. If you've already done that and you're kind of over the IDs and you understand how the credible witnesses work there and all that stuff, you might merge into a little more detailed training. Laura Buer out of California as well. She offers an amazing training that I collaborated with her on called LBP. It's Laura Buer Presents. Great, very specific general notary work if you're looking to expand in that. And if you're looking for loan signing training, you can start doing that now. You can start learning this stuff and then start practicing, because implementation of the knowledge is what is going to help you do this work right. Most people just take a course, they watch modules, they click through, they go through, they read the book, but the implementation is the important part. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to jump ahead and start studying, start practicing too.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so let's just get back to these questions, see how many more we have. Yes, done. Okay, so I have one from looks like from Angela Parks. Does equipment cost have to be deducted in the year it was purchased? For example, if I purchased it in 2020, but won't have the income to 2021, can they put that into their deductions?
Yeah, so you deduct, if you're doing the full amount, you deduct it the year that you purchase it. Doesn't matter whether you made income. Now, you can choose not to deduct it, but you can't deduct it for the following year. The only way you could do that is if you do depreciation. Like I said, if it was a laptop or printer, you would calculate what you would deduct for how many years, for the life of the equipment. You can choose to do that, so you'll see a little bit of it every year. And again, if it's like something, my mind goes to printer. I think printers are the most expensive things that we buy unless we get a computer, right? I bought like a $600 printer, but for me that's just a little bit. I'd rather deduct it up in the front, but it's up to you. But it has to be, your options are deduct the whole thing that year or do a depreciation little by little every year. It doesn't matter if you make the income or not.
Okay. And Sue Hope, with NotaryAssist, as long as they put that data into your software, would that then generate those reports to be able to bring it to the CPA? Can't hear you.
Sorry. I was muted. Sorry. I was talking away and you guys weren't hearing me. Okay, so yes, you run the reports. We basically make it super easy. You spend the time putting the effort in. And I always say this, good data in equals great data out. So if you take the time to put it in right the first time, you will get excellent reports coming out. I'm a huge basketball fan, big college basketball fan. And to take a little quote from Coach Wooden, if you don't have time to do it right first, you don't have, when are you going to make time to do it, to fix it? So it's like, do it all up front, get it right, get it done first, and then you'll reap benefits so much in the end. So just, take the time, set it up. If you have questions, we can help you so that you feel confident that your data entry is going in properly, and then you're going to reap the benefits on the way on the outside. And if we need to tweak it because things change throughout your year or throughout the few years, we can make those small modifications, but you're still getting the right information out.
Awesome. I know that we are topping the hour. So Bill, Sueheily, I don't know if you guys have a couple more minutes. If you have to drop off, we can end. But I want to try this as much.
Yeah,
I'm here.
You got five more. Five more
I'm
minutes.
gonna have a mimosa here in a minute now that I've finished my coffee.
the coffee.
All right, cool. All right, so next question from Pamela. What about if we wanted to offer free notarial services, for example, notarizing school physicals?
So I would need more I need more information.
Okay.
What do you mean by that? Like, can you claim it? If you don't make the income, then you don't claim the income. If you have it, you can still claim deductions in reference to driving over to the school, or if they came to you. I'd need a little bit of information on what you mean by that, Miss Pamela.
So what I've done is, Sueheily,
I'll-
since you dropped, go ahead. No, it's okay. Sueheily, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut on off. I would parlay into that for Miss Pamela as that's a fantastic marketing and public service.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I would use that as promote that, offer your services. You can, it's a great way to show that you're there for the community and become the niche notary or the go-to notary in your local area. That's a great way to expand your business. So it's a way to donate time, but at the same time, you're reaping a lot of benefits back from that. Positive in, positive out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I'm going to try to skip around and guys, ladies, if I have not gotten to your question, please DM me on Instagram, follow me on the Abnormal Notary, follow me on YouTube. I don't have any videos because I'm not a social media person, but my goal is just to upload videos that can actually help you with your notary and loan signing business. So if you have any questions for Sueheily, Sue Hope, Bill Soroka, they're all on social media. Please follow them and we can go from there. So I'm gonna try to get some more questions. We only got a few more minutes because I'm ready to get back to my vacation and we'll keep going. All right. So the next question, a lot of people are dropping gems for other people, which I love. Amazing. There was another one that I wanted to look at.
Teamwork, dreamwork, right?
Yeah. Here's a pro tip from T. Godfrey. Enter those signatures in NotaryAssist as you go. I've been working for days to get all those entered and still have 3 pages of signings to update. So that's a good tip. Make sure you plug as you go. That's what I say.
Hang in there, T. You got this.
And also, guys, just to let you know, a lot of people are asking me about the replay. I'm not versed in YouTube. I don't know how it works. I am live on YouTube, so I don't know if once it's done and I've ended the stream, will it upload? I don't know. So my goal is just to have it there. On my landing page where you registered, I'm going to have the YouTube there as well, just indefinitely, so you guys can see it there as well, okay?
Yay.
All right, so StreamYard is done. I'm going to go to YouTube real quick, and then we're going to end, you guys. I'll get you guys back to your Sunday.
I got a mimosa with no name on it.
I know.
Right? All right, I got one from Tawana Gardner. She's asking for integration on NotaryAssist. If NotaryAssist integrates with SnapDocs, any other signing services, QuickBooks.
At this time, no, we do not have any open APIs. And that's more because there were for a couple of different reasons. We try to keep costs low, and the more QuickBooks, stuff like they all charge fees to be able to integrate. So right now we have to weigh out the benefits and stuff like that. We're trying to keep your costs low, but efficient. So as we grow and as the user base grows, if there becomes a reciprocating relationship that's worth the cost, we are definitely open to working with other big companies. It's just a matter of, again, there's some design and development software work that has to be done, engineered for that. And we're always open to that. But right now, no.
Okay. But with software, because I was a product manager back in the day for corporate America, you always have revisions. You always have,
Always.
Yeah.
I mean,
Awesome.
we just actually launched the signing type report this last week, and it's already getting great feedback. We've actually been enhancing how you can just reconcile inside of NotaryAssist by just enhancing line items so you can see where you are, like visual tweaks, things that are like that. But even more so behind the scenes, the security, the speed of the application, how we wrote the software on the platform that we wrote it on, how the platforms that we use, so that your speed, your user experience stays consistent, even when this is one of the busiest times of a year when everybody's pulling their reports. You guys should not see a decrease in speed just because you're running your reports. And we really work hard on that. And we're constantly backing up. Our security measures are constantly being changed. We're constantly updating emailing protocols so that we stay consistent, because we're emailing from our system on your behalf. So we have to make sure that we're not falling into quote unquote spam. So because those protocols are constantly changing. Yahoo, Gmail, Hotmail, all those platforms have different security protocol, and we are going through that all the time. So just because you may not see the user interface change doesn't mean that your software isn't being updated constantly.
Awesome. All right, so we're about to end. One last question, then I'm going to end. From T Godfrey again. So if we itemize our taxes, do we still get to write off mileage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I usually
That was easy.
it's just usually itemizing, depending on your situation, you get, there you have the standard deduction. I'm assuming she's referring to the standard mileage, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
So yeah, you either do the standard or the itemization. The standard, the way, and there's a formula to do it, and I'll probably send it to you, Ty, later. I should have.
Okay.
But there is a formula that you can calculate. Whatever the standard deduction is, if that's more than what your itemization is, you would take that. But for what we do, we drive so heavily. I always recommend to do the itemization, because usually it will be more. You do get to choose. But like I said, the itemization is more because you get to do the percentage of any kind of expense off of the vehicle. And it tends to be always more. So whichever one is more, you could just pay it and do it.
Awesome. All right, cool. I know that Deanna Alexandra, she gave a little praise report in regards to her processing of the application. Looks like she got her certificate, and now her phone is off the hook. That is amazing. Yeah. Awesome. All right, so I want to end here. First of all, I appreciate every single one of you for joining. God bless you. Sueheily, Suehope, Bill Soroka. I mean, I want to do this again. I appreciate you guys taking out the time. Let's end it real quick. Bill, I'm gonna start with you. If you want to leave a quick nugget for someone or anyone that's aspiring or that's in this business that may be going crazy, I don't know where to go, who to turn to. Just give somebody just a little bit of motivation, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, I'll go back to kind of what I said earlier. This work really does matter. It matters for the customers that you help, which is the general public, but it also can mean an entire different life for you and your family. That's the power of this business. And if you're not getting the results that you want, just know that results oftentimes can be harsh, but they're always true. So if you're not getting the results you want, we've got to start doing some things differently. So you got to find a coach, a mentor, an inspiration, whatever it might be, to shift your daily behavior to get different results. You've got to become the type of person who gets the results that you want to get. And if I can help you out in that, I much prefer text message, so please don't email me. But if you'd like to reach out and connect to me, I'll give you my phone number right now. You can shoot me a text message. 602.
Hang on, Bill, 1 second. Bill Soroka, text only. All right, rock out. I'm ready.
602-309-0706. And even if you just want advice for to go somewhere else, I'm happy to help out. It's not all about Sign and Thrive. It's not all about Notary Coach. You've got to find an inspiration that is relatable to you. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your mentor and your coach. So find somebody you actually like to learn from.
Yeah, I think that's important. And, I've started my whole mentor program. And this is why I tell the mentees that I've actually gotten into my program is just because it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for the next person. Right. You have to find the person that's going to complement you in your learning style, what you want to learn, your objectives, your goals, your mission, all of that. I think that's important. Just because 10,000 people go to that one person doesn't mean that person is going to be for you. Right. I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah. So next, Suehope, what do you got?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for letting us be here. I mean, this was super fun. And honestly, Ty and I connected through, I think, either LinkedIn or Instagram. Yeah. And it was literally just a direct message and introduction and, hey, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm like, hey, let's do this, and this kind of all grew from a quick chat on social media. So the power of social media is pretty impressive. And it's amazing to see the collaboration and that there's a community for notaries, that it's really grown. It really was not there 20 years ago when I was getting started. And it's so refreshing to see. And the collaboration and not being afraid. Like Bill said earlier, a lot of ideas will fail, but the problem is not that you failed, it's that you learned. So take that knowledge. I mean, I know 2020 wasn't maybe the year that everybody, the ideal year, but it taught us a lot. And I'm grateful for everything that it taught us. So being able to adjust, being able to pivot, I'm excited that I've been so blessed to get to meet and work with all of you on this panel, but also anyone who's listening. I'm happy to talk notary with anybody and try to help them succeed. These new platforms that are available, NotaryAssist does try to help you see what choices that you're making and which ones are profitable and which ones aren't. And that's a benefit just in that. Even if you just take the time to see, okay, well, I spent $1,000. What did I spend it on? Oh, it's all broken down this way. It helps you understand your business, helps you feel knowledge is power. And once you understand that, and you can feel confident moving forward, and that's all I think all of us are trying to help you with, is to be confident and to hold your head high, because you are a public servant. You're essential. You're worth it. And you're doing a great job. So congratulations to everybody that's been here today. Thank you for sharing Sunday morning with us. And again, Ty, Bill, Sueheily, thank you so much for allowing me to be with you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sueheily.
Well, I am just so grateful. This is my first time doing anything close to this, so I'm like, this is cool.
Awesome.
So I'm super grateful for all of you, Bill, Sue, Ty, really, like, for real. You guys are awesome. Like, Bill, I love you for being you. I wish I knew you when I started.
Me too.
Here we are. So my thing is, well, I've got a lot of information. I know we weren't able to cover anything. So my email is on the chat. It's First Solution Outlook. That's the best way to contact me, because I get my phone's all weird. So if you have any tax questions, anything like that, I may not, like I said, can't e-file as of right now. I may not be able to help you do your, might not be able to do your taxes this year, but I can definitely help you. I mean, like I said, IRS is telling us how we are leaving so much money on the table, and I'm all about the numbers. Numbers don't lie, numbers are exact, and we want to make sure that you do everything correctly. We don't, I don't want you to have any kind of issues with the IRS, because then they just have an eyeball on you all the time. And my thing is like everyone mentioned, you're in this to be successful, no matter how flexible you're in it. And we want to make sure that you do reach those goals, that you do become successful to where you want it to be. And unfortunately, we got to do the books and the back end and stuff like that. So, and I know that sometimes it can be an annoyance. Sometimes you want to give it to someone else. Sometimes you don't want it to happen at all. But the reality is it is an admin thing that we have to do. And I am absolutely here to help you guys answer any of your questions. There is no such thing as a dumb question. I don't care if you have to repeat it, several times because you forgot. You want to make sure. Listen, I am the same way. Please feel free to. I think I put my information on there. I have social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff. Reach me however you can, and
Awesome.
Set up a quick consultation just to see where you're at, how you want to succeed, and let's set a plan to do it.
Amazing. Awesome, guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to end it here. I will be, if you have not hit my DM in regards to Bill Soroka's Notary Coach Sign and Thrive, please hit my DM. I already have one that I'm going to be giving away. I think her name is Nick. I will be giving you a book already. So hit my DM so I can get your addresses so I can shoot this out to you. You broke up a bit. What's your email? Whose email? Rosemary, whose email? Okay. With that being said, you guys, hit my Instagram, hit Bill, hit Sue Hope, Sueheily. We will be doing this again. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all, and just keep it abnormal.
Awesome.
Talk to you later.
Thank you guys so much.